Hi everybody, it's Beetle Dave, your friendly neighbourhood record collector, calling to you from Derby in the United Kingdom. I hope you're all well and dandy. Welcome to you all. Welcome to all my new subscribers, by the way, and welcome to all of you older subscribers. You're all welcome in my little channel. I've only gone and done it again, haven't I? I did a video about a week ago saying what I'd still wanted on like a wants list or a wish list. I did get the John and Yoko's wedding album the other day, and today the postman's been and has brought me another one of my records that I've been after for a long time, and it is actually the Magic Christian Music by Badfinger, but this one has got a little bit of a twist to it, which we'll get to in a minute. So I'm just going to read you a little bit from Wikipedia on the actual album. The film soundtrack for the Magic Christian featured 3 new songs by Badfinger that had been commissioned for the film, including the UK US top 10 hit Come and Get It, which opened the film, and Carry On Till Tomorrow, the title theme. The soundtrack album, which also included incidental music by Ken Thorne, had originally been scheduled for release on Apple Records, but the addition of the Thunderclap Newman song Something in the Air to the movie prevented that from being issued on Apple, and that was instead it was issued on Commonwealth Records in the United Kingdom, never heard of them, and on Commonwealth in the US, and on Pi in the UK. So there was 2 actual soundtrack albums to this, although they're both called Magic Christian, although Badfingers is called Magic Christian Music, isn't it? The actual album itself is technically the second studio album by Badfinger, although it's the first one credited to Badfinger, because the first album was actually credited to the Ivies, which is this one, and some of the songs on here do appear on Magic Christian Music as well. It was released on the 9th of January 1970 on Apple Records, and the band had previously released the album Maybe Tomorrow in 1969 under the name of the Ivies. 3 tracks from the LP are featured in the film Magic Christian, which also gave the album its title. However, Magic Christian Music is not the official soundtrack to the film, so we know that, don't we? So Badfinger's Magic Christian Music was actually recorded between 1968 and 1969, and then it was released in January 1970, and it was recorded at Abbey Road Studios, Trident, IBC and Olympic Studios in London. It's got a running time of 41 minutes and 58 seconds, which is about how long my video is going to go on by the looks of it. Released on Apple, it was Sapcore 11 in the UK, and in America it was ST3364. It was produced by Paul McCartney, Mal Evans and Tony Visconti. He went on to produce T-Rex and David Bowie, didn't he? It's basically a psychedelic pop album. That's what it says on here. So the track listing is as follows: Come and Get It, which was written by Paul McCartney. Then you've got Crimson Ship, which Pete Ham and Tom Evans. Dear Angie by Ron Griffiths. Well, by the time this came out, he had left the band. Then you've got Fisherman, Tom Evans. Midnight Sun, Pete Ham. Beautiful and Blue, Tom Evans. And then you've got Rock of All Ages, which was by Pete Ham, Tom Evans and Mike Gibbons. Then you've got Carry On Till Tomorrow, Pete Ham, Tom Evans. I'm in Love, Pete Ham. These are the people that wrote it, by the way. Then you've got Walk Out in the Rain, Pete Ham. Then you've got Angelique, that's Tom Evans. Then you've got Knocking Down Our Home, Pete Ham. Then you've got Give It All Away. Give It a Try. That's Pete Ham, Tom Evans, Mike Gibbons and Ron Griffiths. And then you've got Maybe Tomorrow. Maybe Tomorrow was released as a single, by the way. Come and Get It was released as a single. So Paul McCartney actually produces Come and Get It, Rock of Ages and Carry On Till Tomorrow. Tony Visconti, basically, he does Dear Angie, Crimson Ship, I'm in Love, and Angelique, and Give It a Try, and Maybe Tomorrow. All the rest of them, Mal Evans produced Fisherman, Midnight Sun, Beautiful and Blue, and Walk Out in the Rain and Knocking Down Our Home. Excuse me. So Pete Ham, lead and backing vocals, lead and rhythm guitar and keyboards. Tom Evans, lead and backing vocals, rhythm guitar, bass guitar on Crimson Ship, Midnight Sun and Rock of All Ages. Ron Griffiths, bass guitar except as noted. Right. Backing vocals, lead vocals on Dear Angie and Give It a Try. Mike Gibbons drums. So when this album actually did come out, Ron had left the band, hence why his photo's not on it. You've got Paul McCartney plays piano on Rock of All Ages and percussion on Come and Get It, apparently. Nicky Hopkins is piano on Seesaw Grandpa. Right, I don't know that. So technically it is an Ivers album, and technically it's a Badfinger album, because it's like a transition album, isn't it? Because a lot of the songs were originally going to be released as Badfinger. So this is the copy I've got. Like I say, I've got it on CD somewhere, but I've never actually had this on vinyl. Great album. It is a great album. This is actually a South African album as well. Although it's on Apple, it is actually a South African pressing. So you've got a little thing there. Don't know if you can see that. And then you've got that there as well. It's not in too bad a condition. The only thing is the spine's gone. Spine's gone just there. Apart from that, it is actually in quite nice condition. And it is, like I say, it is on Apple Records. And this is a nice thing about, if you're a serious Beatles collector like me, and like Beatle Brad, and like Beatleman 69 and Beatley Tone, you know, and all the sort of people. If you live in a country and you've got the majority or all of the Beatles albums from that country, then you start to look at variations from around the world. Now this is on Apple. The thing that gets me is it's got a stereo right at the top, and the writing is actually in silver, not black, so it does stand out a little bit better. So that is side one. I'll leave it there for a couple of minutes, so if you want to zoom in you can. And then this is side two. I think you can actually see it better on side two. So actually, the album's actually in really, really nice condition. Actually looks like it's hardly ever been played, to be honest. So I can't really understand why the cover is a lot worse condition than this. I suppose it's just the way it's been stored. Quite a heavyweight record as well. So that's two now in the last week that I've managed to cross off my wants list. Still think if I could get an original UK copy of this, I probably would, but they do seem to go for quite a lot of money. Talking of money, how much did I pay for this? Wasn't a lot of money. Nowhere near as much as the John and Yoko's wedding album. £8. Okay, £8. £8 for 14 songs. That's quite good value, isn't it? Yes, I did pay a little bit of postage packaging. I think it came to £10.50 with the postage packaging. It took quite a while to get it. It took like nearly 2 weeks to get here. but it's another one that I'm, you know, glad to have in my collection. Probably not quite as excited as I was when I did the wedding album the other day, so I will apologise, because, you know, I was blown away by that. I am blown away by this as well, don't get me wrong. Again, it's an album that I've been after for years and years and years, and like I say, if you get an original UK copy, they usually go for really silly money. This will do in my collection until the day I do get a UK copy. But then again, will I bother? Will I bother getting a UK copy? I don't know, because, yeah, this sleeve's, you know, the cover's not that good, but the record is actually, I'd say, excellent condition. I haven't played it yet, but it's not like I don't know what to expect, because, like I say, I have got it on CD. Badfinger. Yeah, I think one day I might do a video on Badfinger. In some ways, they're a very, very overlooked band, especially here in Britain. I don't know why. Some of the songs they sing, they do sound a hell of a lot like the Beatles. I think the quote was Harry Nilsson on hearing "Without You." When he first heard that, he says, "Wow, was that a John Lennon song? I want to record that John Lennon song." And then somebody goes, "No, it's actually Badfinger," and he'd never even heard of Badfinger. But if you think how close, you know, Harry Nilsson was to John Lennon and Ringo, I'm surprised he didn't actually know who they were. That's what they say. How true that is, I don't know. Of course, Badfinger's original version of "Without You" was never released as a single, was it? It was just an album track. Although, to be honest, their version is not as good as Harry Nilsson's. Or Harry Nilsson's version is better than theirs, should I say. He puts a lot more emotion into it. And I don't mean that in a horrible way. It's just, if you've never heard the Badfinger version and you only know Harry Nilsson's version, you would actually say Harry Nilsson's version is probably the definitive version of that song. But that is another story, isn't it? Also, just going off the topic a little bit, now we've had a discussion about what Apple should be releasing on either vinyl or CD or Blu-ray or DVD. I've always said that they should release the Shea Stadium concert. I have got most of it on bootlegs, to be honest, but probably not in the order that it was originally recorded. Now, yesterday, I actually saw the Shea Stadium concert for the first time ever, right? And it was actually on YouTube. I just put in the Beatles at Shea Stadium, and it came through. So it is just the Beatles, because when it was premiered on the BBC in 1966, I think it was, about 6 months after it had actually happened, there was a big build-up to it, with the Beatles flying in on a helicopter looking down over the stadium and things like that. And then there was some other bands on as well as the Beatles, but this is just the Beatles section. And I was actually quite amazed. Bearing in mind, by this time they was getting a bit fed up of touring, weren't they? Or so the story goes. John Lennon looks like he's having the time of his life in some of it. Him and George on the last song that they do, which is "I'm Down," John Lennon's actually cracking up, playing the keyboards, and he's like doing all this with his arm and everything, and he's just laughing his head off and looking at George, and then George is trying not to laugh while he's singing the backup vocals and things like that. It's a brilliant concert, which makes me think even more why it hasn't been released. Yes, it might be something to do because I think it was recorded by the BBC or some sort of broadcasting organisation. I know it's only ever been shown once by the BBC, and like I say, that was in 1966, even though the concert was from August 1965. Brilliant. I enjoyed it. You know, yes, it is a bit raw in places, but you can see that the Beatles are still enjoying playing live. Yes, there's screams and things like that, and in one point John's on about something and he goes, "Oh, look at her over there," and there's a girl trying to outrun the security blokes or something. It is quite comical in some places, honestly. Brilliant concert though. Like I say, EMI or Apple, come on, wake up, let's get this out. You know, let's start a petition or something. Let's get something out that, you know, we haven't already got in our collections. Whether it ever will be released, I don't know. It's probably some sort of legal tape somewhere, you know, that says Apple or EMI or whoever it is can't release it because they don't own the copyright or something like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing on that one. But I'm sure if they offered whoever does own the copyright enough money, or did it as a joint venture, you know, it could probably see the light of day one day. Whether it ever will, I don't know. Let me just have a... Excuse me 1 second, folks. But I was actually amazed how well they played, how much fun they was having on stage, and they were interacting with the audience all the time. You know, Ringo sings Act Naturally. Can't remember if George sings a song or not. I'm not sure. I don't think... I think George just does backing vocals, if I remember rightly. But yeah, it's worth watching just to see John's face on some of the things, and it's like he's having the time of his life. So I know we've gone off the topic a bit, but like, so this album, would I recommend you buy it? Yes. If you're a fan of Apple, you're a fan of Badfinger, or even if you're a fan of Paul McCartney in one way, because like I say, he's wrote and produces some of the songs on here. It's a really nice album. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10 for this. Yes, I would still like the original UK copy, but this has got to be, you know, a very close second, hasn't it? Because, you know, the mixes and everything are exactly the same on here. And although the cover's a little bit crappy, shall we say, the record is virtually excellent condition. I'd say it is in excellent condition. It's like another one that I've wanted for best part of 40 years, and now I've got it. So as always, love your records, cherish your records. From time to time you have to clean your records, which is probably what I'll be doing with this in a bit, cleaning it before I play it, but above all playing, because that's what we're buying for. £8. £8. Unbelievable, isn't it? £8 for that. Anyway, I hope that you're all doing well, and I hope that you're all staying safe. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. You know, everybody's welcome in my little Beatles channel. Some shout outs first. Thank you to everybody that is subscribing, whether you're an old subscriber or a new subscriber. Thank you very much. The subscriptions are going up, you know, slightly now. Even if you're a subscriber, do me a favour, if you've liked this video, just leave me a thumbs up and hit the notifications button, because that helps with the YouTube algorithms, or whatever they call them. You know, that stupid word that I can never pronounce. And then that will help the channel to be promoted a little bit more. I've got lots and lots of things I want to do with this channel, but I can't really do them until I get a few more subscribers, i.e. 1,000. Now, whether I will ever get to 1,000 or not, I don't know. I'm hoping that I will. But, you know, I'm quite happy with everybody that I've got as subscribers. But tell your friends, tell your family, you know. Check out Beatle Dave. Yeah, he's an old geezer, but he likes his records and his music, and he loves the Beatles. Anyway, we're going off the topic again, aren't we? Which I always do anyway. I should really probably try and be a bit more professional, but then I think sometimes people like you to be how you are in real life, and that's me. So what you see is what you get. So Magic Christian Music by Badfinger is today's featured album. Recorded between 1968 and 1969, when there was technically still the Ivors, and released in January 1970 as Badfinger. Fantastic little album. If you ever come it across your travels and it's not going to cost you a fortune, buy it. You won't be disappointed. That's all I'll say. You won't be disappointed. I'm so happy I've got it, really. I really am happy I've got it. So that's going to be it. So as always, stay safe. Remember, you are the Beating Beetle Dave. Without you, this channel wouldn't exist. So keep up the good work. Keep up, you know, leaving me likes, leaving me comments. I do try and answer as many comments as I can, but I am back at work tomorrow for a nice little 12-hour shift, and the same on Saturday. I've got Sunday off, and then next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I've got 12-hour shifts again. Hey ho, life is great, but at least I've got a job, I suppose. So I shouldn't really moan. You know, I do like my job. Not as much as I like doing this, but that's life, isn't it? So just peace, love and happiness. I'll see you all soon. Stay safe. Remember, Beetle Dave loves you all.